Hello and welcome to this tutorial for the board game The Lost Ruins of Arnak. After this I'm also making a video of the expansion called Expedition Leaders, so keep an eye out for that. First, let me explain the base game. You are going to play 5 rounds and then the game is over. You take out the scoring pad and count up everyone's points. Whoever has the most points wins the game. You get points for where your own 2 tokens are on this track. You get points for how many monsters you have defeated. You get points for the cards that you have purchased during the game. You get points for how many of these tiles you've collected. And points for how many of these tokens you've collected. In case you haven't placed these tokens on these spaces on your own player board, you get those points as well. You end the scoring by getting 1 minus point for each of these fear cards you still have in your deck. But again, you play for 5 rounds and then the game ends. Then you count up all the points. If you have the most, you are the winner. First, what is a round? That's quite easy. You start each round by going around the table taking turns. You keep doing this over and over until every player has passed. And then you end each round by resetting a few things on the board and your own cards. That's it. Take turns until everyone has chosen to pass and then get things ready for the next round. You start each round holding 5 cards in your hand. Now, what do you do when it's your turn? When it's your turn, you must do 1 main action and as many free bonus actions as you choose to do. And you can do them in any order you like. Everything that has this lightning icon on it counts as a free action. As soon as you're done, just tell the other players you're finished, and then it's the next player's turn. You go clockwise around the table. So again, when it's your turn, you must take 1 main action, plus you can do as many free actions with a lightning icon as you can and want to do. So, what are those main actions? What can you choose to do when it's your turn? That's a little list, but luckily you can keep this information sheet with you for the whole game to remind you of your options. The first thing you can choose to do when it's your turn is pass. Then you are out of the round and you have to wait until all the other players have also passed. Another thing you can do when it's your turn is buy one of these cards from up here. You can choose one of these blue cards, the artifacts, or a brown card, an item. The price for each card is written on the bottom. If you take a brown card, then you put it on the bottom of your own draw deck. This deck of cards that you have on your own player board. If you buy a blue card, then you can put it on your discard pile and immediately do whatever it says on the card. When it comes back into your hand later in the game, you can use it again, but then you have to pay the price that it shows in the middle of the card. Plus, all the cards that you buy will give you points at the end of the game. And of course, another action you can choose to do when it's your turn is play a card from your hand. If it doesn't have a lightning icon on it, then that counts as a main action. Just put the card on your discard pile and do whatever it says. Maybe you can do it for free, maybe you have to pay for it. The card will speak for itself. If you don't know what an icon means, just look on the other side of your information sheet. The next thing you can choose to do when it's your turn is place one of your workers on the board. If you place it on one of the spaces down here, then you first have to discard 1 or 2 cards from your hand that shows a shoe. Just put the card on your discard pile and then place your worker on the board. And then you get whatever the reward is from that particular space. That's all. In case you don't have a card with a shoe on it, you can always use a different card. Your information sheet shows you how you can use other cards as a substitute. If you have a card with a plane, that will always count as a wild card for any icon you need. This action to place a worker here is called digging at a site. You can also place your worker up here and here, if there is a tile. But if there's nothing there yet, then placing one is another action you can choose to do when it's your turn. Discover a new site. First you have to pay this cost, 3 or 6 green compass tokens. Then you can choose where you want to place your worker. Like always, first you have to pay the cost to travel here. For example, this one shows a boat, so I discard a card with a little boat in the corner. Then I put my worker here. You can see there is a token here. I take it, I get whatever it says on the token as a bonus. And then I place the token face down on my own player board, on the crates, not up here. So, now there is this empty space. This is the area that shows this icon. So I take a tile that shows the same icon from here, this one. Just place it face up on that space I've just discovered. I immediately get what it says on this tile. But since I'm the first one to discover this, I have awakened an ancient guardian. Take a tile from the monster stack. Here, this one. Flip it over to see which creature it is and just place it on top of the other tile. Done. That's it. When I remove my worker here at the end of the round and this monster is still here, I have to take 1 fear card from this deck. Of course, you can defeat this monster. That's another action you can choose from. Overcome a guardian. If the monster is still there and you have a worker there, then as an action you can pay the price that it shows on the monster to take this tile and keep it with you. That will be 5 points for you at the end of the game. Plus, each monster has a little bonus that you can use once per game. Just do whatever it says here in the corner and then flip over the tile. It's up to you when you want to use this free action. And the last action you can choose to do when it's your turn is go up on this track. That's called research. The only important rule is that your own notebook token can never go past your own spyglass token. So, when you choose this action, just pay the price that it shows on the game board and then move your token up to that space. Then you can take the bonus that it says next to that row. If there's also a little tile there, you get that bonus as well, and then you remove this tile from the game. Plus, that's more points for you at the end of the game. It's possible that as a bonus you can choose an assistant. In that case, just pick one of these people over here and put it on your own player board. Now you can use this person's free action once per round. Just turn it sideways when you've used it. There's even a chance to upgrade it from the silver side to the golden side to get an even bigger free bonus. In case you've managed to climb all the way up to the top of this track, you can take this stack of tiles, choose one to get the bonus from, and then remove it. And then the next time you choose to do a research action, you can choose to buy one of these tiles up here. They are points at the end of the game. If you want this bottom tile, you pay the price that's written underneath it. If you want to take this middle tile, you pay the price that's written underneath both these smaller tiles. If you want the big tile from the top, you have to pay all the 3 prices here. But it's a lot of points. But that's it. Those are all the actions you can choose to do when it's your turn. Pass, take a card, play a card, put your worker on one of the available spaces to get the reward, put your worker on an empty space to create a new spot and a monster, defeat a monster, or go up on this track with your spyglass or your notebook. I've got one last small detail and then we're done. When it's your turn, as a free action, you can choose to put one of your tokens that you took and slide it to the leftmost space on your own player board here. Then you can take one of these bonuses. The only thing is, as soon as you've covered up this space with your token, you're not going to get this point at the end of the game. When every player has passed, you reset the round, but if you look at your information sheet, it will completely tell you how that goes, so I don't need to explain it. We're done. This is how you play The Lost Ruins of Arnak. I hope you feel like you have a good idea how it goes and that you'll enjoy it. If you're also interested in the Expedition Leaders expansion that can be added to this game, then I've got those videos coming up next. Thank you for watching, feel free to leave a comment, and see you for the next one.